It's playoff week. Who's got the most to win? Who's got the most to lose? Is it my sanity? Find out on the PHLY Eagles podcast. DJ's here. Let's talk some ball. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the PHLY Eagles podcast on a playoff Tuesday, live from the Xfinity studio and presented by Bet365 and Ashley, Bo Wulf, EJ Smith. EJ, how the hell you doing, my man?
I'm doing well. You know, today it's a great day in history. Not maybe all history, but it's a great day for my personal history.
Oh, right. This is when you and Julia started dating.
Yeah, this is me and my wife's dating anniversary.
Started throwing ice cream scoops.
That's the only thing that I'm celebrating today of things that have happened on today. Yeah.
Well, it's January 6th. You know what that means. Time for a takeover at the Flyers game tonight. Hopefully you joined for the sweet takeover. By the way,
hold on. You didn't ask me a single question about me and my wife's dating anniversary. 13 years. Almost. We're getting close to half of our lives at this point. Cute. I mean, it's nice. Shout out to Julia.
Bo, do you know your and your wife?
We don't have a dating anniversary.
Oh, come on. Be a romantic. I
am a romantic, but there's no dating anniversary.
Okay. Well, how many years do you think it would be?
18 years.
Oh, so you are no, you're not half your life yet.
Oh, I'm an old man.
Half your life, I think, is going to be a nice milestone.
Hopefully I get there.
Yeah, I'm saying we're closing in, probably 3 years from now.
Do you have one, Lindsay?
Yeah, but it's like 2 days before our wedding anniversary, so it just is like that. Like we only do our wedding anniversary like normal people.
Okay.
Special date.
Special date. Who asked who? Is this day celebrating a proper date, or was this when you asked her out?
This is when I asked her out, and I mean we were teenagers, so it was me. Yeah. And then our first actual date was at an Applebee's.
Nice.
But we had proclaimed it wasn't going to be our first date at the Applebee's, so we went to Firebirds for our first date.
So you went to the Applebee's, but you mutually agreed on your first date to say that this was not your first date.
Yeah, like the Applebee's was too informal. Julie and I were really good friends before we started dating, and we used to go to Applebee's all the time. So it wasn't special enough. But those of you, if you follow me on Instagram, there's a picture of very young EJ, baby EJ, dressed up for that date. And I think the outfit's aged okay. It was definitely a loud shirt. But,
speaking of handsome, well-dressed men, EJ.
Yeah. Good segue.
What do you make of Kliff Kingsbury getting the axe in Washington?
I was a little surprised, but my first reaction was wondering if he would interest the Eagles in some way, shape, or form.
Well, now the Eagles did interview him when they hired Kellen Moore instead, and there was a guy I was reading at some point, forget his name, but he had reported that the Eagles were actually pretty close to hiring Kliff Kingsbury.
Do you actually not know?
It's just that Kingsbury and the team were potentially at odds about the offensive line, and maybe Kingsbury did not want to have Jeff Stoutland stick around, and so Jeffrey Lurie put his foot down there.
Do you actually not know who reported it, or is this a bit?
I feel like I could remember, but the name escapes me.
Okay, got it. That is...
But shout out to that guy.
Shout out to that guy. If that is the sticking point, what are we doing here? But I don't know. I don't know. I feel like the circumstances have changed enough where I wouldn't say it's a perfect fit. The offense that Kingsbury likes to run and the offense that I think the Eagles need to run moving forward. So I don't know. It'd be interesting.
What do you think about the potential fit with the offense?
Is this a joke? Oh, this is from yesterday. Okay. Is this from yesterday?
I was trying to make it a little,
You're all over the place. No, I mean, just 2 years ago, you could talk yourself into Jalen Hurts being at the center of like a Kingsbury offense a lot more than you can now. So
I think that's probably right.
Yeah, which is something we'll probably talk about.
But I don't know. I feel like if you convince yourself that you are not going to have an offensive coordinator who can stick around for a long time because of the nature of the job, and that maybe it's going to be a revolving door, like you could do worse as a 1-year revolving door than Kliff Kingsbury, who tends to outstay his welcome anyway.
Yeah, and I said on yesterday's show, and I actually, listening back to yesterday's show, I was like, I think I'm going to have to bring that up again because I felt pretty good about this point. I don't think you need like a schemer necessarily in that offensive coordinator job because Nick Sirianni is going to limit how much leeway you get as a schemer with the Eagles offense. And Jalen Hurts is going to as well. We've seen evidence of it. What you really need is like someone who is really committed to the art of play calling, the feel for games, adjusting in games. Maybe you talk yourself into Kingsbury there. But again, he's not really aligned with what they run.
On the Nick is going to put the restraints on you as a schemer because I think there is a chance that this goes if they lose this game, it goes the way of 2024.
Yeah.
Where Nick's power is stripped a little bit. Well, the 2023 season into 2024, where they bring in a guy
2 years ago.
You take the full autonomy on the offensive side of the ball.
Well, I think that's unlikely, but that's a good segue into what we're doing today because maybe that's it. What's at stake for Nick Sirianni in this postseason? So, what I brought to you today, I think we should maybe draft. Do you want to draft them or do you just want to name them?
Draft?
We could draft.
Let's draft.
Okay, yeah, we could draft. We're gonna draft Eagles coaches, players, executives, really whoever you want.
Fans,
hosts. Yeah. I don't have any hosts in here.
Okay, producers.
With the most at stake in the next couple of weeks that hinge on, since we're going to open up the pool for so many different people, hinge on the Eagles' playoff success. Who has the most, as you said, the most to gain or the most to lose based off of how these next few weeks go for the Eagles?
Your idea means you get to go first.
Okay. I think Kevin Patullo.
You're right. I am very magnanimous. Thank you very much.
I think Kevin Patullo is the obvious first pick.
Okay.
I broke these into tiers.
Lofa Tatupo.
I love a tier, so I have some tiers, and I think potentially coaching.
You do love a tier.
Potentially coaching for their job. I think he's the only one in there. Now, maybe you could talk me into somebody else being in that tier, but I think that he is alone in that tier. And I'm not saying that like Kevin Patullo's job hinges on this game, but I do think if the Eagles offense looks the way it has for most of the regular season in this matchup against the 49ers, that's going to be the big talking point come on the other side of that game. It's probably going to be similar to the Jeffrey Lurie 2023-2024 offseason where it's like, what's going to happen here? But it's going to be for the offensive coordinator.
What do you think he could do to change the way that the fan base thinks about him?
It's a good question. I don't know if they're. I mean, obviously, like, if the offense flips the switch in the playoffs,
it's so funny if they just all of a sudden they're running crazy fun stuff and like guys are running wide open.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, okay. So let's say this. I mean, it's like such a.
By the way,
unlikely scenario I'm about to lay out here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay,
you finish.
Such an unlikely scenario, but if the Eagles defense, let's say the Eagles defense gives up 31. So it seems impossible, but I'm going to play this out for you.
Yeah.
Eagles offense scores 28, and Jalen Hurts like misses a throw to an open receiver, like on a crossing route or something like that. Like, is that like Kevin Patullo finally figured it out, but the players let him down? Like a scenario like that. Listen, I know that this is like a nightmare fuel for Eagles fans, but a scenario where the Eagles offense plays really well, the 49ers offense has some positive moments against the Eagles defense. Maybe, but really at that point, the conversation probably shifts to the only reason the Eagles were the 3 seed is because their offense couldn't, string together productive play in the regular season.
I thought the biggest news of the day happened on Anthony Gargano's show this morning.
Oh, yeah, I heard about this.
When Baldy was on, Baldy said he doesn't think Lane Johnson's going to play this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think we've been pretty consistent about when we've talked about Lane that it's up in the air. Like it's a significant injury. It's remarkable that he's trying to play through it without getting the surgery. I did hear about that from this morning.
Yikes.
And I mean, we'll see. I think there's a chance he'll practice this week maybe, but it is a difficult thing to play through. I don't think that it was as
a dreaded harlot.
Definite as it seemed.
Can end the season.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough. But especially it's obvious that the Eagles felt good about his chances of eventually playing, but I think the fact that it's strung out this long speaks to how hard it is for him to play through it.
Man, he's going to want to get out there.
Oh, if he could play, he'd play. Yeah.
We'll see. Maybe Baldy's slow playing it.
Yeah, I mean, there was a report from my former colleague Jeff McClain that Lane's going to be at practice this week. So we'll see if he's out there and how it looks and how he feels about it. Again, I think he definitely has proven that if he can play through it, he will. But that's why I didn't think Fred Johnson should have played left tackle in the regular season.
They didn't have anybody else.
Yeah, they could have moved Matt Pryor to left tackle. I know it wouldn't have been ideal, but it wasn't ideal even with Fred at left tackle. Yeah. So I don't know. That game didn't matter as much as this one does, and now you might be leaning on a Fred Johnson that just spent a week at left tackle.
I really don't think that that's a big deal.
I do.
But it's going to be very funny. They lose this game on a big sack led up by Fred Johnson, and afterwards
that wouldn't be funny.
Well, I thought I was kick setting for the left side.
I don't know if you could say it's funny, but no. I mean, I don't like to pull I'm around the players, I talk to the players, but these guys say it's a big deal switching from side to side. I take them at their word there.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he'll be fine.
Who's your first pick? Most at stake.
Most at stake? Number 1. The quarterback, Jalen Hurts. No doubt about it, as far as I'm concerned. Because, listen, the myth-making of Jalen Hurts, the reason to believe in Jalen Hurts is that this is a guy who saves his best stuff, performs his best when the lights are brightest. And he was awesome in the Super Bowl. There's people are throwing around their quarterback rankings, all this stuff. Jalen's not in the top 15. He's just a guy made by the offense. But the truth is that he has been one of the better playoff performers over the past 4 years. And if he all of a sudden is electric in the postseason, and especially against the Niners, he's running more, which I do think is a possibility. He's scrambling more. I think all of a sudden we'll just go right back to this is a big game player. The regular season is nothing but prologue for Jalen Hurts. The playoffs is all he cares about.
It's funny you say that because, going into the playoffs, I've been reflective of the Eagles' last postseason run. And I've been thinking a lot about the story I wrote after the Super Bowl, the moment that Jalen Hurts had, walking out with the trophy, having Frankie Beverly, Joy and Pain playing on the speakers, they're happy feelings.
Joy.
Sorry. It was happy feelings. I can't believe I messed that up. So to think about where Jalen Hurts was after that game and to think about how things have gone for him this season, the thing that stands out to me is actually something that he said a lot this season, which is that success isn't linear, right? Because in my mind, when I saw him win that Super Bowl, I thought he's silenced the critics, he's silenced the doubters, he's proven that he is a quarterback you can win a Super Bowl with. He will not have to he won't be subjected to what he's been subjected to, exactly what he's been subjected to this season. So I think that this is an opportunity for him to show that success may not be linear, but success is once you prove it, you've proven it. It's just crazy to think about the last 12 months from Jalen Hurts. To be a Super Bowl MVP, to have felt like you silenced that side of the doubters and the critics, and to have them come back so quickly, it's just crazy to think about.
Also worth noting that this is probably the healthiest Jalen Hurts has been entering the playoffs in his career.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I mean he had it was the finger last year, right? And then he had a knee that was exacerbated against the Rams. The year before, was it the ankle the year before? It was the ankle the year before, and then the shoulder the year before that. So, no.
And the year before that was, remember, they lose in Tampa, and then he shows in the boot. Yeah.
Yep. One of my, just because of how, unexpected it was.
It's very funny.
One of my favorite, not my favorite memories, but
oh, really?
One of, the memories that stands out most from covering the team.
Yeah.
Foremost memories,
right.
I guess is the right way to phrase it. Just being he's got the boot. Yeah. He's healthy. I think that there is a feeling that the quarterback run game is going to be a bigger part of the offense in the playoffs because it is, now or never, kind of like time to cut it loose.
It's now or never.
I'll believe it when I see it with the inclusion of the quarterback run game. I think it's important, and I think it makes sense to implement it.
I think I believe it.
Yeah.
I think I don't need to see it. I think I believe it. But we're talking about degrees, I think.
Yeah, I feel like we've heard it enough this season, like that it's something that they wanted to get to. I think it's probably more matchup dependent than we sometimes like to think, but I do think that if they're going to do it, it's going to be now. It's the postseason. It's time to cut it loose.
All right. Time to take our first break here on the PHLY Eagles podcast. More draft on the other side. Stay with us. Elkins Chevrolet is run by not one, not two, but three brothers, real brothers, who also just happen to be big Eagles fans, worried just as much as you are about what's going to happen on Sunday against the Niners. But don't worry about that while you're thinking about a new car, because this holiday season, the good folks at Elkins are making sure you get a deal that will make you feel just as good as a playoff win. They've got a great big inventory of Chevy trucks and SUVs, and there's no better time to grab one at a price that won't last. So whether it's getting to the game, getting to work, or hitting the holiday road, you will roll into the new year in the perfect ride at the perfect price. Elkins Chevrolet, real brothers, real deals, and a whole lot of honkin' good service. Elkins Chevrolet, Route 73 South in Marlton, New Jersey. Shop now at elkinschevrolet.com. Tell them that the good folks at PHLY sent you. Give them a little fist pound. Say go birds. And together, let's drive.
Next, let's talk about Xfinity. What if you could have reliable and intelligent Wi-Fi? And what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? That's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. It's Wi-Fi that makes everything in your home work together. It finds and fixes problems before you even notice them, like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a 6th sense. And that lets you stream the game even when the whole family's online. All your devices work perfectly in perfect harmony for 5 whole years. And here's the best part. There's no annual contracts, no hidden fees, and Xfinity's best equipment is included in this deal. Take it from me, a lot can change in 5 years. Championships are won, records are broken, dreams grow bigger, but your Wi-Fi, that should stay reliable, and the price should stay put. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities with Xfinity. You can learn more at Xfinity.com. Xfinity, imagine that. Select plans only. Restrictions apply.
I think EJ hates Jaelan.
I don't hate Jaelan. I do not hate Jaelan. I have written a lot of good stories about Jalen Hurts. I find him to be fascinating. I did slip up and say, like, it was my favorite memory. It wasn't my favorite. I should apologize for
you hate
that.
His foot.
I don't hate anything about him. He's an interesting guy to cover.
Very interesting guy to cover.
Yeah.
If you want to read some of that coverage, you could become a diehard. And truthfully, if you haven't become a diehard yet, why? And also, go to hell?
No. But we appreciate the diehards, and if you want to join that community, we'd appreciate that.
If you want to be an upstanding citizen and look yourself in the mirror and say, I am not just freeloading off of the hard-working folks at PHLY, you're going to support them, then become a diehard. And if you want to finally step over the line to become an upstanding citizen, now is the time to do it. We're talking about the playoff deal, $36 introductory offer for Philly's best playoff coverage. Plus, you get a free t-shirt. What's better than that?
It's a great time to become a diehard. We'd love to have you in the community.
You don't even need to like the Eagles. Why are you watching the show? But if you just like the NFL draft, you're going to get access to all of Fran's scouting reports.
You know how many times?
Crazy.
You know how many times people ask me about draft prospects because they think I'm up on the draft prospects because it's like, it's my job.
How many times?
Dozens. And I'm just, you know what I do? Straight to Fran's draft guide.
Dozens of times people are asking you this?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
really?
People will be like, what do you think of Mendoza? I need to know what you think of Mendoza. And it's like, I've watched him a couple times, but you know what Fran has to say about Francisco Mendoza. I'm actually not going to give it to him. It's a great comp. It is a great NFL comp. And I'm not going to give it to him. They're going to have to subscribe to see it. Do you know what it is?
I do.
I was about to say, you'd really like it.
Ian Magazine.
No. You actually do know who it is, though, right?
I don't remember. I don't remember
you would love it. It's like one of your favorite players, but just a little bit
I think
juiced
I
up.
do know it is actually. I remember now. Yeah.
Gotta subscribe to find out.
Yeah, you. You loser.
I don't know why you have to make it so personal. It's not personal.
Join the club.
Yeah, it's a good time
Come
to become a
on.
diehard. We got good playoff coverage coming up. Yeah.
Die hard or just die? I don't know. Who's your next pick?
We got the draft. I'm gonna go with Jalen Carter.
I'm going with PHLY because if you guys don't sign up for the Die Hard deal, there might not be a show tomorrow.
Yeah, maybe it's me. Yeah. Maybe I should have picked myself. I'm going Jalen Carter. We've talked about it on the show a few times this year, but the way that this regular season has gone for him has been anticlimactic based off of what we expected, mostly due to injury, I would say. But he hasn't quite been the star, the game wrecker. I've heard BG actually talk about Jalen Carter and the Aaron Donald comparisons that he is good enough to receive, but he hasn't been quite that he hasn't been quite that player from a production standpoint. I think, especially like when the possibility that the Eagles were going to play the Rams was still something that some would say it was actually the most likely of the scenarios at one point.
It wasn't.
I was really thinking about how important, just reflecting on how important Jalen Carter was in that game and how it felt like during that postseason run, this was the moment that he kind of took the crown as like the ultimate interior disruptor in the NFL. I still think that's on the table for him, especially as the postseason comes around. It seems like he's healthier. Obviously, he's got this hip injury now, but
another week of rest though.
Yeah, we heard from him last week, and it sounds like it's not something that's going to be too much of a limiting factor. So, if he has an impactful postseason run, he's right back at the top of that mountain. And the reason I have him here is because I think there's maybe it's not 9 figures that are on the table for him, but probably 8 figures. Like in terms of an extension, I do think that the difference between being at the top of the defensive tackle market at that $30 million a year mark and being at the top of the defensive player market, which is probably closer to 40, you could talk yourself into that being really on the table for Jalen Carter over the next few weeks.
I do think that just from a closing argument standpoint, there's no doubt that if he has a monster playoffs, nobody will remember that he had a little bit underwhelming regular season.
Honestly, it almost is, to use the term myth making for him, like it almost adds to the legend where it's like he was hurt all year. He had these shoulder procedures. He came back. He played through pain, and he wrecked the playoffs for the Eagles. I think that would be, honestly, even it probably reflects even better on him than, given the way things have gone.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's a good one. I don't want to just focus on the guys like with a chance to really juice their contract numbers.
Okay.
But I'll give you one more, and that's Jalen Phillips.
Yeah, he's my next one.
Because, first of all, he just got to have his first bye week of the season. He skipped his bye on the trade. So he gets to sort of rejuice for the playoffs. And I think that he has been very good for the Eagles, but not as, whoa, as the first 2 weeks were for him.
I have a take on this, but go on.
Okay, let's hear it.
I think that Jalen Phillips might be like a perfect Vic Fangio edge rusher in that when you talk to Vic about disrupting the quarterback, he doesn't care as much about sack production. He always goes like, you guys care about sacks, but he doesn't care about actual sacks. And that is a departure. Like I remember Jonathan Gannon would always talk about like that being an explosive play for the defense. I don't think Vic cares about sacks. I actually think, and this is really off brand for you, I think Vic cares about, do you just affect the quarterback? Pressures. Not necessarily like the actual stat of pressure.
Yeah.
But when he watches the game, are you making an impact on the quarterback? And I feel like that's like Jalen Phillips' specialty is like not finishing on the quarterback. not actually. not.
I mean.
You guys have corrupted my mind.
EJ, it's the playoffs. They can't be committing penalties like that. That's an easy 15 yards.
Corrupted my mind so much because a month ago I would have just said that and kept going. And I said it and I was like, one of these two is going to make me feel weird about that. And I did it to myself. Okay.
How would you even go about doing that in the middle of a play?
That's an expression in my defense.
Feels like it would. It feels like it would take too long.
The worst part about that is I did that 100% to myself. Like I could have just kept going and hoped that nobody noticed, but instead I stopped myself in my tracks. Not actually registering sacks. Not. I can't read it.
You said that can only happen when there's a jerk route.
Not registering sacks, not tackling the quarterback. Sure. Maybe that's not like he's not as consistent with that. Like, you know, Hassan Reddick, we would talk about, like he was good at actually getting to the quarterback, forcing sacks or forcing like strip sacks, right? But with Jalen Phillips, I think he is a pressures guy at times. He is somebody who affects the quarterback. Maybe the numbers don't always back it up, but for that reason, yeah, I do think he's kind of perfect for Vic Fangio for what he values.
Totally different kind of strip sack.
It was a good point, and I just walked right into it.
I think your point is right, that appreciating Jalen Phillips is about more than just sacks. And as a pass rusher, he has been affecting the quarterback.
Yeah. I think that is, yeah, I agree.
And he's entering, we didn't come out and say it, but he is entering a contract.
Right.
He will be a free agent this offseason.
And I don't know how much it'll matter, like this discrepancy. I think he probably will be highly sought after in free agency, even though his sack production maybe isn't as good as you would expect it to be.
All right, who do you got next?
I'm going again. Oh, you took Jalen Phillips. I just ended up waxing poetic about Jalen Phillips. In the spirit of not just going through guys who are going to get a payday, I'm probably going to go with Nick Sirianni. I don't know if it's like there's that much for him to lose. Now, if they lose in the first round, I do think it creates some urgency next season for Nick. As crazy as that would sound, but we've seen it play out with Doug, so I don't think it's unfair to say. But I do think he has a lot to gain. I mean, back-to-back Super Bowls, especially in the unorthodox, unconventional way that they've gone about it this year. I do think that, similar to Jaelan, there's an element where it would be like you can't question him as much after this. Now, I'm sure that he will still be scrutinized and questioned because that's the nature of this business and especially in the city. But I do think, again, like there's a legitimacy that comes with being back-to-back champions, especially with how much he's won, where it's like
absolutely
the next time that we are watching an Eagles offense that prioritizes turnovers to the point where they don't run, exotic route concepts or they're not, trying to score at the end of a half, it just gets a little bit harder to say, well, it gets a little bit harder to say when the guy's won two Super Bowls in a row. So he's got something to gain there.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like the most, but again, I didn't want to keep going through guys who like are getting
But I also think if they lose in the first round, people are going to be like, this team underachieved.
Yeah, and I think that it does. Like I said, I think it sets up urgency for next year. I think the fact that this is the organization that fired Doug Peterson 2 years after winning a Super Bowl, you have your example right there.
3 years after.
3 years. Apologies.
It's okay.
Vic was struggling with years today in his press conference.
Was he?
Yeah, he was talking about playing Kyle Shanahan, and he's like, I haven't played him in like a decade. And he's like, 2018 or 2017? Yeah. And it's like, that's not a decade.
It's close.
It's close. Closer now that we're in the new year.
I'm going to give you one for this matchup specifically. And that is Jordan Davis.
Yeah.
In the sense of, I know that the Niners have not had a very good rushing game by the efficiency numbers, but they're going to try to run the ball in this game. And I was looking up. We know that the Eagles obviously will play quote unquote light boxes more than most teams, right?
Yeah.
So True Media, first and second down, 6 defenders in the box. Okay. The Eagles have been in this situation against teams who run the ball way more than everybody else in the league. They've had 166 rushes against them on first and second down with 6 men in the box this season. That's 35 more than the next team. So it's far and away the most. And yet, they have the 6th best success rate on those plays.
And that is the force multiplier.
And to me, that is because of Jordan Davis. I think there are 2 players that is because of. I think primarily it is because of Jordan Davis.
Zach Bond or Cooper DeJean?
I think Cooper DeJean is the other one.
Okay. I think there's three, and I think it's those three.
I think Bond is obviously a big part of that.
Yeah. But I think Jordan Davis is, I think you have labeled that correctly. Jordan Davis, that is the Jordan Davis effect, in my opinion.
I think so. Yeah. And I think if they're going to be able to adequately snuff out the Niners' run game on first and second down in this game, I think it will be Jordan Davis having a monster performance that is, unlike Jalen Carter, an accurate reflection of the awesome season that he has had.
Yeah, and obviously he's under contract for next season, but I do think if he has an emphatic, like you said, a closing argument in the postseason this year, do the Eagles say that price is only going to go up and up from there? And I do. I've had arguments with this about this with some of my former colleagues about like whether or not you can pay Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis. I think at the level Jordan Davis is playing and how important he is to the defense, I think you pay those guys, you figure it out elsewhere.
I think so too.
So yeah, I think that's a good one.
Yeah, I was saying to Anthony this morning, I felt like last year, the story of like the person who was most pivotal on the defense for Vic being able to play the way he wanted was Zach Bond, because I think there was a little bit more of that changing fronts last year and what he was able to do,
the versatility,
how versatile he was really the key to that. This year, I feel like Jordan Davis is the guy. And I think Cooper DeJean is probably the other guy in both seasons.
Yeah, I agree. It's funny because I was thinking, well, Jalen Carter was pretty important, but structurally, schematically.
In terms of just keeping the structure the way he wants it.
Yes, I agree. Zach Bond. And it's funny because it's like we almost take it for granted now. Like last year when Zach Bond was playing off ball and he'd walk down to the line and give him those 5 down fronts, it was like such a, like, man, like that's incredible that he can do that. And now you kind of just are used to it. So, yeah.
All right, let's take our next break. On the other side, we will either continue doing this draft or talk about coordinators, and then we'll do the other one later. So that's a real tease, so you don't know where we're going to go next. Stay tuned. Just taking a little sip from my delicious Wawa coffee mug. And I'm here to tell you about the morning at Wawa, because I don't know about you, but our mornings are hectic, and that often means that I don't really have time to get myself breakfast. So what do? I head over to Wawa because they have a great deal going on in the mornings. You can get any Sizzly, any size hot or iced coffee, and a hash brown for just $5. We're talking quick, easy, filling breakfast that fits right into your morning routine for a great value. Now, it's only available in the mornings from 5 to 7 a.m. You need to know that. Limited time. Exclusions apply. See Wawa.com for details. But you got to know. If you need a little pick-me-up in the morning, Wawa is the place to go. The $5 big breakfast deal. Check it out. Tell them PHLY sent you. We love Wawa.
Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. That's right, they pioneered live in-game betting and have 90 million users worldwide. Bet365 live streams 780,000 events each year and offers the widest range of games and markets available for live in-game betting across 78 sports each year with early payout offers across the NBA and NHL. They've got plenty of offers for each day of the week, including the SGP Sundays offer, which is perfect as the NFL playoffs get going here. You're placing qualified parlay bets totaling $20 or more on Sunday NFL games, and you get up to $25 in bonus bets. T's and C's apply. Download the app and use code PHLY365 when you sign up. We've also got breaking news from Bet365. New customers are now getting $150 in bonus bets when you bet $5, win or lose. Sign up, use the code PHLY365, deposit $10, and place a bet for $5 to get $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins or loses. Must be 21 and physically located in PA. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Back on the PHLY Eagles podcast, let's keep the draft going. No, not so fast. Let's save that for the D block. Let's talk coordinators. What'd you hear from
D-block?
Vic Fangio, Kevin Patullo, Michael Clay?
So I think the most newsy thing was that Vic Fangio said he expects Nakobe Dean to play against the 49ers.
Okay.
It's a really important development if you consider like how the 49ers play with Christian McCaffrey and George Kittle. Like
I'd say so.
You want to be full strength at linebacker, and that's not even accounting for how much motion the 49ers use and how that influences linebackers. It's funny, like Vic kept saying like every motion has a purpose. And it's like, yeah, like maybe say that, maybe let Nick Sirianni and Kevin Patullo know that motion should have a purpose. So yeah, I thought that was interesting. I don't know if this is like was a well-kept secret or something that most people already knew, but Vic Fangio said that he almost joined Kyle Shanahan's staff in 2017 when Kyle Shanahan took the job.
Oh, interesting.
With the 49ers. Vic Fangio was the Bears defensive coordinator at that time. So, he said that they're friends, which I feel like if Vic says he's friends with you, like that actually is pretty high praise. Like, he said that they don't talk very much, but they are friends. There's a mutual respect there. And then I thought that it was interesting. He said that Jalen Phillips is like appreciation for the opportunity that the Eagles gave him has been somewhat contagious. Maybe made other players realize like what don't maybe not take for granted where the Eagles are.
Okay. Shout out to Lindsay.
Lindsay P.
Yeah, Lindsay getting a quick bathroom break in during the ad read.
It's very
nice
quick.
Job.
Yeah.
What?
I was gonna ask. Did you wash your hands? Oh, they're still wet. Look at that.
Of course she washed her hands.
I knew that.
She's not a heathen.
I suspected she did, but it was there's urgency there. If she's not back,
Lindsay, I would never ask you that.
If she's not back by the time the ads are off, then we're just sitting here muted. It's not great. I don't
think that's like ever an option. I'd rather be late than not wash my hands.
We could have managed for a few minutes in silence too.
I would say so.
Yeah.
It wouldn't go back to the camera though, so it would just be on the All City thing.
Yeah. I feel like
shout out to our production staff. I don't even know what's going on back there. It seems like a lot.
I can't believe you would even think for a second that Lindsay wouldn't wash her hands. How dare you?
I thought it was what everybody was thinking.
How dare you?
Fran said not to mention what's Lindsay going to say no.
Hands, I was
not going to admit it.
Sorry. I didn't hear what Lindsay said.
Fran says, well, not to mention what's Lindsay going to say no?
Yeah, that's a good point. That's true. Speaking of hands.
Hey!
I'm down to one Band-Aid.
Nice.
I don't want to show it off too much because, it still probably doesn't look the prettiest.
Anthony Harris no longer.
Shout out to, I guess I can shout out the place I went, right? Temple Burn Unit.
TBU.
This might be too grisly to share. I don't know. But, they needed to, I won't share. It's not.
Too late now.
No, it's. I don't think it's nice podcasting. They had to, remove skin.
Okay.
Yeah. That's all I'll say. But it didn't hurt. It was just weird. It was freaky.
Like a bris?
That's what I was thinking. That's how a lot of people come into the world.
You guys, man. Again, you've corrupted my mind. I didn't think there was anything weird about that. But yeah, no, they said I took good care of it. And they said I don't need to wear the wraps anymore.
Good for you.
Yeah.
All right. What about Kevin Patullo?
Kevin Patullo said that the 49ers' litany of injuries on defense does not necessarily mean that you chase matchup advantages. Yeah.
Okay.
He said you don't want to get outside of yourself trying to chase matchup advantages. So I found that interesting.
But I think you can say, okay, let's take advantage of their linebackers. Not let's circle this guy and just try to get him, but I don't know. Their linebackers, they're on linebacker 7 and 8.
Yeah,
Let's design something to exploit that group.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from. I think the message that he was trying to get across is that, sometimes trying to exploit a single player, especially in the middle of the defense, it's a structural thing, and it's not as simple as saying let's just try to isolate that player. Now, that's not to say that they won't do it, but he did kind of pump the brakes. The way the question was framed is how do you balance doing what you do while also trying to take advantage of matchups? And he said that you don't want to get outside of your system and what you like to do. He really harped on the Eagles' offense doing whatever they need to do to win games week to week, and that's what they'll continue to do moving forward. To me, that really reinforces something we've talked about a lot on the show, which is that it feels like every week this Eagles offense is just trying on a new identity and trying on a new way to operate. There's not a through line through each week where it's okay, this is what they do well and this is what they're trying to accomplish. I don't know if that inspires a lot of confidence that this is the way that it's been presented is whatever it takes to win that week, whatever it's going to take is what we're going to do. I don't know. I think that I've said before, it feels like there's a high margin of error when you are really leaning on the coaching staff getting it right every week, getting it right what they need to do. We've seen examples where that's really backfired.
Hey, Derek, we're trying to do a show in here.
Just a real no-self.
You know Bodner. He's always talking up a storm. Nobody speaks louder than that guy.
I don't know if that's true.
Of course it's not true.
I was about to say. Like it's coming
Very
from
atypical
you.
for him to be yelling all over there.
I don't know if that was him yelling.
It was.
Oh.
Probably the mice.
I was locked in, so I didn't even hear it.
Okay.
That's a good tease.
Anything from Michael Clay?
Quick ones. Confidence in Jake Elliott going into the playoffs. He's really harping on, like, it's hard to kick in the Northeast. Jake will be fine. And the 49ers return game presents real challenges. So, that's what I had from Michael Clay.
We are going to get really into the weeds tomorrow.
Oh, I have one more thing.
Okay.
What are you going to get in the weeds on?
No, I'm just saying we're going to get heavy matchup stuff tomorrow.
Yeah.
Niners offense against Eagles defense tomorrow. 4-hander. Plus Mina Kimes joins the show. Then on Thursday, we do the other side of the ball. So getting really deep into all the matchups that you need to know. Go ahead.
Yeah, I agree. I'm excited to hear some of those conversations. Well, I guess I'll be a part of them. I'm excited to be a part of some of those conversations. One thing I found really interesting from Kevin Patullo's presser is that he mentioned the structure of the play calling when talking about like why they were so much better managing the play clock. You know, we talked about on yesterday's show that they were not as consistently late getting to the line and getting the snap off.
Right.
I was wondering if it's, to do with, I think our hunch from yesterday is true, which is that, there was less pointing, as we both said on yesterday's show.
Yes.
Less pointing, less moving parts. And I think it's probably a reflection of the fact that it was the second team offense and they have less installed and less experience picking out different defenses, picking up different tells. But yeah, I did find it interesting that Kevin Patullo said that there was also some structure of the play calling that influenced it there. I'm not sure if that is like
easier stuff.
Yeah, I think it's probably
fewer variables at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, when he first said it, I was wondering if it was maybe like actual verbiage, like making it simpler. But I think it probably is more to do with when you've got Jalen Hurts and Cam Jurgens and Landon Dickerson and your full complement of wide receivers out there. There are more complex calls that you get into, whether it's double plays or checks at the line. And I think against the Commanders, they simplified it, and it's just like everybody's on the same page because you run the play you call in the huddle. So I think it was probably just less to sort out at the line of scrimmage.
Gotcha.
Which isn't necessarily confidence-inspiring either, because it means that isn't something that they'll really carry into the playoffs. I guess you could
they're
say...
not going to... Yeah, I mean, they're going to... Spoiler alert, they're going to be late to the line, and it's going to be hiking the ball with 1 second left.
The fact that they did better against the Commanders, I just... To close the loop on it, it's not... That might have been a 1 week thing because of the backups, not something that they figured out in week 18.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, before we get to break, Lindsay's got a Were They Teammates for us. Were they teammates? Were they teammates? Were they not? Were they teammates? How about that?
Deion Sanders and Ed Reed.
Deion Sanders and Ed Reed.
It feels like there's no way, but that sometimes is how she gets you.
I'm going to say yes, they played together on the Ravens.
I'm going to guess yes, too, because
I'm pretty sure Deion
like
was on that really good Ravens team.
2 years. Wow.
Bernie Kosar and Troy Aikman. This has to be a yes, because why else would you be throwing in Bernie Kosar on us?
I'm going to go yes.
Yes, in 1993.
It's way harder to find ones that they don't, but you would think they did.
Yeah, that is tough. We should put you in charge of these. You'd be good at these.
I don't need that. Not to
you
my
need
plate.
More work.
Thank you very much.
That's fair. Point taken.
Like Fran got it wrong.
What's that?
Fran got it wrong.
Oh, Fran got it wrong.
Not a ball nowhere.
Wow. Too bad.
You think a guy knows ball?
Drained of all his turkeys for Swooper this week. For getting that wrong.
He was bilked.
All right. Last break. Come back on the other side. Let's put the finishing touches on this draft. I got a few more people on my board still available. Find out who they are. Let me tell you about a local business that's... Hold on a sec. Mice! Ah! Somebody call Evans Pest Control! Again, they're here! Oh my gosh. We need someone local who we can trust to get rid of this pest problem that we have. And it's so nice to deal with a real local business instead of a call center. And we know that pests, they don't knock. They just come crawling, running around the studio when we're trying to do a show. So listen, if you've got an issue with pests, there's only one place to go. The good people at Evans Pest Control. So if you see signs of pests or you just want to prevent them, before they start, reach out to Evans Pest Control and visit evanspestmgmt.com to schedule your free consultation. That's Evans Pest Control at evanspestmgmt.com. Tell them PHLY said, they're still here! Ah!
It's a new year, you've got big goals, but you might not have time to cook. And if that's the case for you, then Factor can make it easy with fully prepared meals designed by dietitians and crafted by chefs so that you can eat well without shopping or cooking. Quality, functional ingredients, including lean proteins, colorful veggies, whole food ingredients, and healthy fats. That's what we're talking about with Factor. It's a service I've used personally, and I can assure you it's great for people with busy lives. They've got great nutrition, which is why 97% of customers say that Factor helped them live a healthier life. Feel the difference no matter your routine. My wife and I use them, and you should too. Head to factormeals.com/PHLY50 off and use code PHLY50 off to get 50% off your first Factor box plus free breakfast for 1 year. Offer only valid for new Factor customers with code and qualifying auto-renewing subscription purchase. Make healthier eating easy with Factor in this new year.
Welcome back on the PHLY Eagles show. Bo Wulf, EJ Smith, Lindsay behind the ones and twos. EJ, you're on the board.
All right. I'm going to go with Dallas Goedert. We're back on the bag chasers here.
Okay.
He's had a really great season, obviously, and he has been, at least anecdotally, it seems like he is productive in the playoffs typically. And yeah, this is a chance for him to kind of ride off into an emphatic playoff performance sunset, hit free agency, and cash in. I don't know if it'll be with the Eagles, but I think that he has something to gain. Again, I think I am usually pretty grounded with like, what do people have to gain? Money is usually where I go with this, and I think that he is at the top of that list.
I don't know that I necessarily agree that like Dallas Goedert's market is going to change that much based on his playoff performance. Yeah,
let's see. Like, what is there like a tier break, a tier skip in the tight end market here?
So tight ends,
like the top of the market is between 16 and 19 million a year, and then it drops down to like 13 million to 11.
He's going to be 32, 30. Like, Kyle Pitts will probably be the highest paid tight end in free agency. And then it's probably going to be him next, I guess. Njoku, potentially.
So you're probably looking at like that Hawkinson 16.5. Those guys are older.
Chigo Okonkwo, I don't know.
Maybe not a Jalen Carter level amount of a swing here, but there is money to be made.
I think the biggest thing for him is just to stay healthy.
Yeah, okay. But I also think let me pivot. Is there an Eagles legacy angle here for Dallas Goedert as well? Can he enter like the Zach Ertz level of Eagles great with a postseason with like not just a postseason run, but him playing very well in a postseason run?
Yeah, maybe.
All right, I stuck to land.
He had a great moment in the Packers game last year.
The stiff arms.
Yeah, that was great.
Plural.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to give you a how do we really feel about this guy one.
Okay.
And that is Landon Dickerson. So
that's interesting.
Landon Dickerson has had a down year, but everybody acknowledges that this is probably because he's been dealing with injury. He had that little blip in the early second half of the season where it did look like he had sort of regained his power and was really moving people. And then it felt like that dropped down a level again. He got the week off. Is that enough to sustain him for the next month? For him to look like, all-pro, Pro Bowl caliber Landon Dickerson people mover? Or, if not, moving forward, are we going to feel as good about the offensive line if both he and Cam Jurgens are kind of question marks in terms of playing up to the level of expectation.
Yeah, I think it is a little bit. Maybe not unfair, but like I think you have to set expectations. A week off for the injuries these guys are dealing with is probably not quite enough to really make a meaningful difference. You know, it's like, I mean, Landon's dealt with the knee, he's had an ankle, he's had a calf, he's had a back injury. Like, he's had a lot of injuries this season. But I do think it's a fair point that if he does look this way at the end of the season, you have to ask yourself, you know, I was just looking up like Brandon Brooks's ages toward the end of his career when the injuries started to really creep in for him, because I do think, like, I don't know, when they drafted him, you probably thought if they could get 4 or 5 good years out of Landon Dickerson, you'd feel pretty good about that because of his injury history. Now, he's played through everything, and he's been, you know, more resilient than I think people would even have expected from him. But no, I think that's fair. I think that there's something, maybe not so much to gain or lose in terms of like stature, but just in terms of like how the Eagles are going to feel about it.
I think that's right.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Okay, over to you.
I'm going to go
I've got 2 more I'm willing to draft.
Okay.
3, but really 2.
I'm going to stay in my legacy stakes here. You know, I like some of these legacy stories, and I think Vic Fangio is an interesting one. Not that he has much to lose, but I think for him, he's even talked before about you don't get opportunities like this as often as you'd think, is even for a coach like him who is, you know, as widely respected as he is. So, yeah, I think 2-time Super Bowl champion Vic Fangio I think he will think it has a better ring to it. So, yeah, I think he's got something to gain, especially because of like the way that the Eagles defense has played the last few years and how much Philadelphia loves a defensive coordinator that brings perennial winning. I do think he has a lot to gain in this city that he already has so much love for. Like, it will be reciprocated as the years go on.
I think that's a good one. I don't know that I think that there's much downside. I think even if they have a bad game, people are not going to blame Vic.
Yeah, we're at the bottom of the board here.
Yeah, okay.
I wanted to say with Landon Dickerson, something I've been thinking about with the interior offensive line injuries, really quick, not to derail us here, but I think I've been thinking, like, have we given enough thought to not just like the production in the run game being tied to these guys being injured and less mobile and less capable of filling the jobs they used to, but I've heard enough people talk about like Jeff Stoutland and like, oh, is he doing enough? Like, you know, like what's Jeff Stoutland's role in all this? He's been so good for so long. And for the record, like, I think Jeff Stoutland, he's proven, you know, I think pump the brakes on questioning a coach that has done as much as Jeff Stoutland. And I think that maybe something we haven't thought about as much is like, do they have access to all the different calls?
Is the menu pared down?
Yes, because
those guys
Cam Jurgens and Landon Dickerson are not as mobile. Obviously, Les Bowen said a couple months ago, like, Landon is out there running like Les Bowen.
Yeah.
You know, I think like there is a valid question as to like, do they have the flexibility in the run game? Because that's what stood out last year. You know, like that they could do the gap scheme runs, they could do the inside zone stuff. They had a very broad menu of runs that they could get to. I do wonder if those guys being banged up, like maybe we talk a lot about how it affects the actual blocking, but it might affect the scheme too.
Okay. I think that's an interesting hypothesis.
Just thinking about the Eagles a lot these days.
Okay. I'll give you a legacy one.
Yeah?
Jake Elliott.
Okay.
People are all ready to just bag on Jake Elliott right now. He missed a couple kicks. That's important. But if he's playoff nails again, put that stuff to the side. And if he has missing a big spot, people are going to be saying, do you need to move on this offseason? And I actually think they probably can't for another year, or likely wouldn't. But yeah, I think Jake Elliott is probably would have gone earlier if you were just talking about the vacillation that could happen depending on his playoff performance in terms of his standing with the fan base.
I agree. There's a bigger range for Jake Elliott that I think is well put there. You know, the only thing I have to add to that is like, you know, if he performs well in the postseason, he becomes even closer to like the David Akers legend. And I might be overstating David Akers' legend.
I think that Jake Elliott has already surpassed David Akers.
All right, well, you're talking to somebody who had a signed picture of David Akers in his room from age like 7 to age
2024 Ospreys presenter, David Akers.
Yeah. I liked the David Akers as a kid.
I got nothing against David Akers. I would, but I think that Jake Elliott is probably, given the fact that it's
a Super Bowl winning kicker. Yeah, okay, that's fair.
All right, who's your last one?
I don't have very much bias on the show, but I just admitted it. I'm biased on David Akers.
Okay.
My last one. I don't love anybody left on the board, for the record.
You told me you're the one who said you had like 14
I have
guys.
a lot, but
okay.
I don't think any of them are like, slam dunks. I'm going to go Christian Parker / Clint Hurt.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, if they go on a run, it's even less likely. Although you could make an argument
that
going on a run could be
Christian
bad for
Parker
these guys.
is incentivized for them to lose in the second round. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, I can already get interviews. I don't need any more success here.
Yeah.
I just need an opportunity to interview there. But no, I think those defensive guys, especially you see, as defensive coordinators get fired across the division and across the league, you think that some of these guys are going to get looks for sure.
Mm-hmm. All right,
Saquon Barkley, does he do anything for you?
Yeah, I mean, you could make the case that if he has a monster
there's upside.
postseason, there's upside. Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of downside, but I think there's a lot of upside.
AJ Brown.
I have a different AJ. I'm going to close this draft by putting the spotlight on a running back named AJ Dillon.
Why?
Because
what? AJ Dillon.
Why is right. This season ends. I think most of Philadelphia is going to be thinking, why was this guy here the whole time? So unless he has a playoff moment and comes up big, which explains why the franchise has left this guy as just a hardening turd on the end of the roster.
Oh, no. Come on.
Then what was the point? This is why they don't win the Super Bowl. That's what everybody's thinking. So you want to talk about upside? Let's see A.J. Dillon do something in the playoffs that's not just buy something at Lowe's and put it in the locker room.
Do you know if it was Lowe's?
No.
Okay. I was going to say, I could try and find that out. I mean, I'm glad you got that off your chest. I respect your commitment to the bit.
Or if one of the guys who had to play last week gets injured this week, that guy. Howie Roseman needs to answer for this.
We'll talk to Howie.
When?
No, if they make it to the Super Bowl, we'll talk to him then. If not,
the Combine.
I mean, yeah, probably the Combine.
Well, there's this end of season press conference. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, the end of season press conference. I was about to say.
I would love to kick off the end of season press conference with Howie. Why was AJ Dillon on the roster all season long?
Might be one to say for owners meetings. He will look at you like you're insane.
We all want to know.
Do we all want to know?
Everyone with a right head on their shoulders.
The sickos want to know.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
Mark is right. Lasted too long. Should have been number 1 overall.
I love the court jester in the chat says, "Here we go." right as you said AJ Dillon. It's like, buckle up.
If you think that's the last we're going to hear from AJ Dillon this week, I think you're probably mistaken. Okay.
Hear from or about AJ Dillon?
Either.
We should get him on the show.
You should get him on the show.
Let him defend himself.
Speaking of guys who are celebrating today's anniversary.
He's a big fan of me and Julia. He just loves love.
Loves you guys. Big ice cream fan. Loves love. Loves ice cream. Big vanilla guy.
I got nothing to say. Big vanilla guy. Jesus. Oh, man.
Lindsay, did you have anybody on your board that got unselected?
No, I did not. Okay. I didn't put much thought into this.
Yeah.
Lindsay was busy.
Yeah, holding that pee.
I meant earlier. She was probably busy.
Yeah.
We all had a busy day.
We have.
It's a big week.
Big week. You gonna be writing anything this week?
I am. Yeah, I'm gonna write.
On PHLY.com. Become a diehard.
I'm gonna hopefully have something up by tomorrow afternoon. Hopefully tomorrow morning. So now that I said it, it'll be tomorrow morning.
Ooh.
And then
Putting yourself on the clock.
something later in the week. Yeah. Working on some stuff. It's the playoffs. All eyes are on the team. You got to bring it.
And that's what we're trying to do here on the PHLY Eagles podcast.
Emphasis on P.
Emphasis on P. The floor is a mess.
No, the floor is fine.
You know what's at stake?
Lindsay time. Oh, did we start early today?
No, we started like at exactly 2:00.
Oh,
Look at us.
these clocks are not synced.
Our cycles aren't synced yet, guys.
Yeah,
Give it time.
got to work on it. Lindsay, do you notice in your house that people get worse sleep when it's a full moon?
Oops, sorry.
Oh, a double overtime.
Oh, see, people have been waiting for double overtime.
Yeah.
Say it again.
Do you notice this thing about like sleep getting worse in a
When you have
full
kids?
moon?
I didn't even know there was a full moon.
It's
So
like a whole thing.
Well, it's brighter outside.
This is like a whole thing, especially women get worse sleep when it's a full moon.
You know,
it's a true
women.
thing.
I don't find that.
You know, women.
I don't find that for
Women be
myself.
shopping.
To answer your comment, EJ,
Keep
about
digging. You
it
be
being
shopping.
brighter, you just have we have blackout curtains
Yeah.
in the room,
Same.
so that wouldn't matter.
No, I've got blackout curtains, but if you didn't, would the full moon influence that maybe?
I don't know how it all works, but
Somebody out there, now that we're talking about sleep quality, somebody out there needs to help me because I've been trying to wake up at 7 a.m. That's one of my New Year's resolutions, is to be up every day a little bit earlier so that I can get stuff done before the day really gets going. And I can't wake up at 7. I can wake up at 6:30. I can wake up at like 8, but 7 a.m. for some reason, it just like kills me. Like I cannot like keep my eyes open. So someone who understands sleep better than me, if they can help me figure this out, I would appreciate it.
Why don't
I
you
feel
just
like
stay
we
up later
answered
so
this
that you can sleep the
yesterday.
normal
Yeah,
time?
like you have to adjust your bedtime.
Do you think I need incremental changes? I feel like you rip the Band-Aid off and you just want to adjust.
I don't know.
And for the people who are saying they wish they could like sleep in till 7 a.m., I respect people who wake up early. That's not me.
I wish I could get up at 9.
Yeah.
If I were you, I'd be sleeping till 9.
Yeah, the no kids lifestyle. I mean, I feed the dogs at 8:30. That's pretty much the only thing before actual work starts. But no, I'm trying to be more productive. I don't think I could do 5:30, but maybe I'll start just trying to do 6:30.
5:30, you're showing off. It's like
You're like the
we
rise
get
and
it.
grind people.
You know, come on.
My husband gets up at leaves at 5:30
Well, he's
every
gotta go
day.
to school.
He works out before school. Is that right? Mm-hmm. A big workout flex.
That is impressive.
You know, he's
No,
just,
I think it's crazy.
I mean, he works out all day. He like has to work out, and then I guess he doesn't really work out.
I mean, it's
You
a
think he's
different
doing
type of
bench
workout.
pressing the kids?
I mean, maybe.
That's why he's teacher of the year.
Yeah, teacher of the year.
I know.
He's not doing that. He's not getting that from.
Just juggling 8-year-olds.
He's not getting teacher of the year.
They're
He's
high
sitting around
schoolers,
watching
but-
everybody else
What?
work out.
They're high schoolers, but
Oh, okay.
So he's not bench pressing. Those
No,
kids.
that's even more impressive.
There was
Nobody-
a time in my life where I could have bench pressed like a small teenager.
he they have like choice phys ed now, so they can kind of pick like what kind, like if they want to do like team sports
Okay.
or like, so there's like a yoga, it's called like wellness and something. So he teaches a couple of those. So he does yoga. Like he like literally is like a
sounds nice.
yoga teacher for like a couple periods.
That's
So
great.
Yoga's
Did a
so
lot-
he's active.
yoga is great.
We did a lot of baseball yoga because our head coach's wife was a yoga instructor.
I mean, it's great for
So
you.
did a lot of yoga in high school.
The deep breathing exercises, meditative stuff, and it's just a good workout. Yeah,
I agree.
very solid. I want Fran to chime in the chat and tell us what time he wakes up. What time do you think Fran's
It
getting?
seems
up
like
these
he's
days?
hinting that he wakes up at 5:45.
I wasn't sure if there was like a joke about 5:45, like if this is like a 41 scenario.
Like at what time do you go to the dentist? 2:30.
2:30.
Yeah, Fran's not
One
above
of the
those
great
types of
jokes.
jokes. What time were you waking up when you didn't have kids to wake you up?
Naturally or like forcing myself?
Like whatever your normal was.
Probably 7:30.
7:30.
If I could sleep if just actually on my own time, I would be sleeping till 9 o'clock.
Those days are long gone.
But I'd be up until 2 in the morning.
Yeah, I'm like a midnight to 8, but now I'm trying to be an 11 to 7 guy, and it's killing me. Fran does say 5:45. Maybe I'll try 5:45 with Fran. It's working for him.
Are you like a 1 alarm,
EJ?
2 alarm? Do you have to put an alarm across the room?
Oh, yeah. So Tuesday mornings, I'm a 2 alarm guy.
I am if I'm traveling, if I have to get up for a flight, I am like a 3 alarm that they go off like every 2 minutes. Mm-hmm. But regularly, I'm usually either a 1 snooze and done or no snooze. Like the alarm's off, I'm up. But of course, I married. Throwing my wife under the bus here. I married someone who is like a chronic snoozer. Now Julia gets up early because she works like long shifts.
Well, she has to go save babies' lives. Like,
yeah,
you
but
can't
I'm just
deal
saying
with a couple alarms.
I mean, but it's like the 1 alarm should be enough to get you up if you have to go save babies at the hospital.
I'm on your side because my husband's the same. It's like 4 alarms.
It feels
out
like
loud.
Yes,
it
they're
feels
so
like
loud.
You never marry someone that's compatible to you. There, it always has to be on both sides of it.
It's usually both sides. Yeah.
Yeah, like somebody is a chronic snoozer and the other one is a 1 alarm and up person.
Do you always go like loud alarms? So you're just waking up your spouse?
See, now I know your stance on this because I've heard you talk about it before. I will use an Apple Watch alarm if I am the first one up. Okay. I'm very rarely the first one up because, again, my wife has a 7 a.m. shift at the hospital.
Yeah.
She's not an Apple Watch girl. She's a loud alarm
she's the
girl.
Head boss, yeah.
So if this were the other way around, you'd be ripping me, which is fine. I'm not going to rip Julia on this either, but...
no, I think she deserves to carry the big stick.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't actually complain about it, but no, I knew if it were the other way around, it wouldn't work. But I think that's probably just a commentary on my relationship. Shout out to Julia.
I try to go with the vibrate alarm.
You heard it. But that's not effective enough. You're not going to...
Yeah, that's right. I set my vibrator to wake me up in the morning. That's exactly how I wake up.
I like that your defense mechanism was to just make it even weirder.
But usually 2.
Did you see Fran's chat? Fran's calling me out for sleeping in on the road. Oh, man. Well, I appreciate this insight. 5:45 is early, but I don't know. Did Fran say that's when he was waking up before he had kids?
He's a football guy. He's always getting up early.
Rise and grind kind of guy?
Guys to do.
He's doing guys at 6 a.m.?
Yeah.
Respect.
Indefatigable.
All right. Well, that was helpful.
All right. That'll do it for the PHLY Eagles podcast. Stay tuned tomorrow. Big show. Probably going to be a long one. EJ, Fran, the professor. Mina Kimes getting really into the good side of the matchup for this game on Sunday. Niners offense, Eagles defense. Are we going to be talking about the death unit? That awesome 21 personnel the Niners can put together? I don't know. We'll see. Either way, we'll talk to you tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Thank you, Lindsay. Thank you, EJ. Thank you, you. Sign up to become a diehard if you haven't yet. Now's a chance to do it. $36 for the whole year. Plus, you get a free t-shirt. Fantastic. Talk to you tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Good luck to everybody out there finishing on the quarterbacks in your life. And as always, we love you.
Y'all silly like the mayor.